How did they become so rich? The secrets behind the world's greatest fortunes. What if I told you that some of the richest people in history earned more money in a single day than millions of people will make in their entire lives? How is that even possible? Did they simply work harder than everyone else? Or did they discover a secret that most people never see? From college dropouts who built trillion-dollar companies, to investors who turned a few $1,000s into billions, to entrepreneurs who spotted opportunities everyone else ignored. Their stories seem almost unbelievable. But here's the real mystery. Why do only a handful of people become unimaginably wealthy while millions, working just as hard, never do? Tonight, we are uncovering the real stories behind some of history's greatest fortunes. Some are inspiring, some are controversial, and some raise questions that still don't have simple answers. Let's begin where every fortune starts, with a single idea. 1. Picture yourself standing in a small garage. There are no luxury cars outside, no private jets, no billion-dollar headquarters, just a few people working late into the night, convinced they can change the world. It sounds like a movie, but it's how several famous technology companies began. Many of today's biggest fortunes started not with huge amounts of money, but with solving a problem that millions of people faced. The founders of companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and Meta didn't become wealthy overnight. They built products that reached enormous numbers of people. Here's something many people overlook. The biggest fortunes rarely come from earning a high salary. Instead, they often come from owning part of something that keeps growing. Imagine owning just a tiny slice of a company that millions of people use every single day. As that company grows, your wealth grows with it. IT is one of the biggest differences between earning income and owning assets. But here's the question. If building companies creates so much wealth, why doesn't everyone do it? The answer leads us to something far more powerful than money itself. Opportunity. 2. Seeing what others ignore. History is filled with people who became incredibly wealthy because they noticed something everyone else dismissed. In the 1990s, many people laughed at the internet. Some believed it was just another passing trend. Yet a small number of entrepreneurs saw something different. They imagined a future where people would buy products online, communicate instantly across continents, watch movies without DVDs, store information in the cloud. At the time, those ideas sounded unrealistic. Today, they're part of everyday life. The same pattern has repeated throughout history. Railroads, oil, electricity, personal computers, smartphones, artificial intelligence. Every generation experiences technologies that seem impossible until they become essential. For every billionaire who correctly spotted the future, thousands invested in ideas that completely failed. So how do the winners seem to choose the right opportunities? The answer isn't luck alone. It's their willingness to act while others hesitate. 3. The investor who let time do the work. Imagine buying shares in great businesses, then refusing to sell them for decades. It sounds boring. It doesn't make headlines. Yet this simple strategy helped create one of the largest personal fortunes in history. Legendary investors have often emphasized patience over constant trading. Instead of chasing every exciting trend, they looked for businesses with strong fundamentals and held them through market ups and downs. This approach relies on something incredibly powerful: compounding. It's often described as earning returns not only on your original investment but also on the returns you've already earned. At first, the growth seems slow, almost invisible, but over many years, it can become astonishing. Many people underestimate this because they focus on quick wins instead of long-term growth. Of course, investing always carries risk. Markets can fall, companies can fail. There are no guaranteed paths to wealth. But history repeatedly shows that disciplined investing has helped many people build significant fortunes over time. Still, even investing isn't the biggest source of extreme wealth. The truly enormous fortunes came from something else entirely: control, owning the platforms that billions of people depend on. And that's where our story takes an unexpected turn. 4. The power of owning the platform. Now imagine this. Instead of selling one product, you build the place where millions, or even billions, of people buy, sell, communicate, or work every single day. Suddenly, you're no longer earning money from one customer at a time. You're benefiting from an entire ecosystem. This is what economists call a platform business. Think about it. Every time someone shops online, books a ride, posts a photo, streams a movie, or pays digitally, the platform owner earns a small piece of the activity. One transaction may seem insignificant, but when it happens millions of times every day, those tiny amounts become fortunes measured in billions of dollars. The most successful platforms grow stronger as more people join them. This phenomenon, known as the network effect, has helped some companies become incredibly difficult for competitors to replace. But here's the fascinating part. Many of these companies weren't the first to enter their industries. They simply built better products, reached users faster, or adapted more effectively than everyone else. So if being first isn't the secret, what is? The answer lies in something most people fear more than failure itself: taking calculated risks. What is? The answer lies in something most people fear more than failure itself: taking calculated risks. 5. Every billionaire has failed. When we look at billionaires today, we usually see private jets, luxury homes, global influence, but we rarely see the years of uncertainty that came first. Many successful entrepreneurs experienced rejection, failed products, financial losses, or businesses that collapsed before they found lasting success. Some investors made costly mistakes. Some inventors watched their first ideas fail completely. Others came close to bankruptcy before turning everything around. These stories remind us of an important truth. Failure isn't proof that success is impossible. Sometimes it's part of the learning process. That doesn't mean every risk pays off. Far from it. Many businesses fail permanently. Many investments lose money. Success is never guaranteed. But history shows that those who eventually built enormous fortunes often kept improving after setbacks, rather than giving up at the first obstacle. And then comes the biggest surprise of all. The world's richest people don't just work for money. They make money work for them. 6. The wealth machine. Imagine earning money while you're asleep. It sounds impossible. Yet this idea sits at the heart of many large fortunes. Business owners can earn from companies that continue operating without their constant involvement. Investors may receive returns from assets they own. Creators can continue earning from books, music, software, or digital products long after they are made. The principle is simple. Instead of constantly trading time for money, build or own something that can continue creating value. That doesn't happen overnight. It usually takes years of effort, smart decisions, and persistence. But once that system is in place, growth can accelerate dramatically. Of course, none of this removes risk. Markets change. Technology evolves. Consumer preferences shift. Even the largest companies can lose their advantage if they stop innovating. Which brings us to another question. If fortunes can rise so quickly, can they disappear just as fast? 7. When empires collapse. History says yes. Some of the wealthiest people and companies in the world have watched their fortunes shrink almost overnight. Economic crises, technological disruption, poor decisions, changing consumer behavior, all have erased fortunes that once seemed untouchable. Entire industries have disappeared. Companies that dominated one generation have faded into history in the next. The lesson? Building wealth is difficult. Keeping it may be even harder. The people who remain successful over decades usually continue learning, adapting, and preparing for change instead of assuming success will last forever. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. Conclusion. So, what's the real secret? So, how did they become so rich? Was it intelligence, luck, perfect timing, relentless hard work, or simply being in the right place at the right moment? The evidence suggests there isn't a single answer. Many extraordinary fortunes were built by solving real problems, creating value at scale, taking calculated risks, owning growing assets, and adapting when the world changed. But every story is different. Some benefited from remarkable timing. Some overcame repeated failures. Others combined vision with years of disciplined execution. One thing is clear. Extreme wealth is rarely the result of one lucky day. More often, it's the outcome of thousands of decisions made over many years. So here's the question we'll leave you with. If the next billion-dollar opportunity appeared today, would you recognize it before everyone else? Or would history repeat itself, leaving only a handful of people to see what the rest of the world overlooked? If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more stories about history, wealth, power, and the world's greatest mysteries, and tell us in the comments, what do you think is the single biggest factor behind extraordinary wealth? Luck, skill, timing, or something else entirely? Because the next great fortune might already be taking shape today.